welcome. How's everyone doing today? Real quick, just a little bit of housekeeping. I've been having connection issues lately, and over in the west, there's looks like some kind of storm brewing, and I may lose this feed. I don't know. So I'd like to do a sound check. If you can hear me, check. Let me know. It's been real intermittent. It'll work fine for like 20 minutes, and then I won't have connection for like 2 or 3 minutes. But while I'm waiting on that, right there, yours truly, I installed me a chin up bar. So in addition to climbing the mountain and getting my legs in shape and getting some cardio, I can get my upper body, um, get some curls and lats. You can do push-ups anytime, anywhere. Howdy, Panna, Twisty Biz, Liam, hello. I assume y'all can hear me. There's about a minute delay, so I'm told. Today's pick of the day since my channel somehow wants me to advertise as some kind of Samsung that I've never used in my entire life. I've always used Apple. And this is not an endorsement for Apple, but if you're one of those people that's going to buy a phone anyway, I will get a commission on it if you buy it through the links. Deb Grimes, hello. Jazz B, Dory Mabry. Um, how's everybody doing? Twisted Biz. There's usually a 30 or 15-second delay, I'm pretty sure. Hi. Um, their father. I'm not sure what that means, but if someone was asking, yeah, I'm Parker's dad. Hayden's dad, Blaine's dad, London's dad. That's thanks for the reminder. Also, this is the AMA Ask Me Anything. It doesn't have to be about me. It can be about anything. People call or not call, but type in and ask advice, and that brings me to something else I wanted to bring up. I don't know since I'm on my phone, if I reduce this, if I can read like an email, because I've had several people on here try to like ask, what would you do in this situation? And apparently you can only type X amount of characters. And it's kind of hard for me to give any kind of advice or what I would do if you can only type in so much and then too many comments go through and I lose track. So I may, I don't know if I want to do it right now. I think if y'all remind me at the end when I'm telling you I'm about to go, say, hey, do your thing that you're going to do and reduce your phone. What I'm getting at is if you want to like write an email, I could, if I'm able to swipe up, pull up an email where y'all could still see me and I can read, and that way I can get a little more context if that's something y'all would want to do. But I don't want to do it right now because I'm afraid if I do, it'll just crash the whole thing and I'll have to start all over, and it's kind of a pain. But, anyways, today's topic is, oh, and also one last thing. It's kind of, this is growing organically. I don't really have any set plan on how this is going to go, how long it's going to go, what I'm going to talk about. I just kind of talk about things that I run across through each day. What I'll typically do is just talk about my topic. I noticed a few people in the last few days saying, hey, I can't tell if he's live or not. He's not really reading our comments, but I don't have a whole lot of people that come live anyway, so I kind of talk about what I'm going to talk about, and that way I can read through comments, and there's not, I don't know, it just seems to flow a little smoother that way. But today's topic is something that somebody here actually asked me about a few days ago, or maybe it was last week. Something along the lines of, Caleb, what do you think as a man? What do you think about marrying single moms? And I gave my answer, and there's the thumbnail for this particular video. I just happened to run across a meme that someone made, and I corrected it, and it said something along the lines of children tend to walk more upright and more confident with a father in their life, and I just corrected it and put a slash through the A and typed in children seem to do better in life and walk more upright and more confident with their father in their life. And I fully understand that bad luck happens to good people. I understand that there are different families that with different everything about the family, and just about any environment for a child would be better than an abandoned child next to a dumpster. I totally get it. What I mean by what I'm talking about is in general. In general, statistically speaking, children do better with biological mom and biological father in the household raising them. That's not just my opinion, that is a fact. That's a provable fact with statistics. I happen to agree with it, but the problem that I see with far too many parents, and arguably I could include myself in that because I'm the first to say that I've made so many mistakes. Primary biggest mistake number one I made was marrying a woman that I was not compatible with and having 4 children with her. Mistake number two was remarrying a year later after my divorce from my kid's mother to a woman that had never been married and had no children of her own. It was a gigantic mistake, and I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have put myself through it. Shouldn't have put her through it. Shouldn't have put my kids through it. I screwed up. Another big mistake that I've made is I've talked about pretty much the center of my channel is I started drinking to heal or fix my problems, which is obviously a gigantic mistake that I do not agree with, and I just don't. No one will ever convince me that there's um, any good, positive outcome from drowning your sorrows in alcohol. And also, when I talk about the topic of should men marry single mothers, this is not to disparage single motherhood or single mothers, not to say that there's not a good reason that she is a single mom. Maybe her husband died in a car wreck. Anything could happen, or died of cancer. Um, this is not me attacking women, saying I hate women, or I'm a misogynist, or even a misandrist for that matter. And for those of you who don't know, that it's the misandry is the hatred of men. It's not talked about nearly as much, but I'm neither misandrist nor misogynist. I criticize behavior, and I've tried my best not to be hypocritical, across as hypocritical about it because I criticize myself. That's why I open this up with some of my bigger, huge mistakes that I've made. And I know they're mistakes because I've got firsthand experience with it. So, in my opinion, but that far too many parents get this wrong is basically making the Brady Bunch uh, glorified into reality. Obviously, there are good stepmoms. I get it. There are good stepdads that people love. I get it. But ideally, I'm just talking ideally. I'm not talking about all the what ifs. Because every time I talk about a subject, it just never fails. Somebody says, well, I know somebody who did this and that, and it doesn't fit into your mold about what you're talking about. Or I get the inevitable, the not all arguments. Caleb, not all women are like that. Caleb, not all men do that. And I know. I'm not, I, it, forgive me while I have an autism moment. Oh, by the way, my video yesterday talking about autism. Apparently, I can't say the R word on YouTube, or I get a slash in my a strike. Not against my channel, but against the video itself. So I'll try to watch my mouth. I probably need to watch it anyways. But generally speaking, the type of man, generally, that will marry a single mom is generally the type of guy who will run through in his early, his teens and 20s, will run through women and treat them like garbage. Um, will likely have children of his own that he's abandoned and not taken care of or even lifted a finger to even pay for. It's a guy that will, and again, this is just generally. And what tends to happen if a man marries a woman who's got children, let's face it, first marriages, it is a statistical fact that is easily verified that half of all marriages end in divorce, and 70% roughly of all second marriages end in divorce. I don't care what Dave Ramsey says. I don't care about the topic. I don't care what Matt Walsh says about the topic. They're wrong when they push marriage without, blindly, without thinking, without taking the time to get to know somebody and just rush out when you're 20 years old and have as many babies as possible, or 22 or 20. Even Andrew Tate posts that crap, and I just vehemently disagree with it. And I can stand with conviction on this because, to the best of my knowledge, Dave Ramsey and Andrew Tate and Matt Walsh have never, ever, ever, ever had to deal with the Title 4D funded family courts. They can guesstimate, they can get an estimate of what it might be like. They can empathize possibly with men who've gone through divorce and gotten reamed by the family court, but they've never been there. And so they don't know what they're talking about if they're just blindly pushing marriage. And I'm not even saying marriage is a bad thing. I'm saying that state sponsored marriage is dangerous and should be taken lightly or very, very carefully. Because oftentimes what happens is a single mother with, a 3-year old and an 8-year old will marry some guy who's generally probably a little bit older. He's going to try his best because he's getting older himself. He realizes that not everything works like it used to work. The arms turn into pencils if you don't start working them out. The belly starts swelling up if you're an alcoholic boozer, and it just leads to all kinds of problems. And the younger women that he's used to when he was younger don't find that attractive. And so he's going to put on a big show, and it's hard to maintain an act. It's really hard. Anybody can do it for a little while, but to do it permanently, it's probably, I dare say it's impossible to put on an act. So he's going to put on his best foot forward because, he hadn't had any in a long time, and he wants to secure this smoking hot MILF of, 34, 37 years old. She is realizing finally that, it's probably a good idea to have some kind of male role model in her own children's lives. And I get it. And there's no disagreement there. I don't blame her for wanting to do that, but in my opinion, the best role model to be involved with the child's life is the child's father. And again, this is me picking on the behavior of women. I'll get to the men in a minute. Is you really, especially if you're really, really fertile, you better be really, really careful who you're hopping in the sack with, because you just might wind up with carrying their child. And if he's a doucher, and it seems like that's kind of a problem these days, you don't want to wind up with a child who's got a doucher for a biological father that isn't going to try to come around, isn't going to pay for anything. And so the next best thing is to have a different guy, which again would be better than nothing. I get it. However, what's going to happen with the man who puts his best foot forward just so he can, claim her, this we've established that second marriages often end divorce. Well, generally speaking, if she's sick of him and divorces him, hubby number two or three, she won't give a crap about her children's relationship with that man. So, and if that is the case, when it almost always is and always will be, golly, that wind just picked up and I'm chilly. You're going to break his heart and you're going to break those children's fault, and they're going to be really confused because they went the first X amount of years of their life with no father in their life. And then they got a father in their life, and it was a little awkward, but maybe they worked through it. And then all of a sudden, mom gets sick of him, or she picked the wrong guy because he was turned out to be a douche number two, and he cheated on her. So I just don't think it's a very good idea. I think it's a very dangerous precedent. And again, for the moms, the single moms who are now realizing that their children probably need a male role model, I don't blame them. They're right. They do. But ideally, it would have been the child's father in the first place. For the men, again, I'm kind of general. I've dated single mothers since I've been divorced, and it doesn't go well. It never goes well. That's why I don't even date anymore. I've not just I just don't even mess with it because I'm getting old myself. I know I'm old. I'm 47, but until I get my shit together financially, I've got my body together. I'm getting my mind together. I'm still a little messed up in the head from all the trauma or whatever. But until I get my finances in order, I don't even mess with them. And once I like hypothetically, I was hoping, knock on wood, this crypto venture that I'm on at the moment. Hence the reason I'm living in a tent in the middle of a beautiful field in the mountains of northern Wyoming, Bighorn National Forest. When I get my crap together, I promise you, I will not take dating a single mother seriously ever, like ever, ever, ever. I realize and I have no business, but I'm not even interested in early 20 somethings. They're too young, they're too inexperienced, they don't know anything. And I'm not trying to insult anybody. But then in anyone older than that, I'm not interested in because they've got kids. I've raised my kids. I don't want to raise any more kids. I'm not going to raise any more kids. I'm not even going to raise my own grandkids. I've made that crystal effing clear with my own cheerings. If you knock her up, you better prepare yourself to do the right thing and do what you got to do. Because I will not raise my own grandchildren. I see so many people my age, so many boomers, my parents' age, raising their own grandkids from their kids that are my age that have kids and they're worthless. And to burden the grandparents with that, there's no way in hell I was going to burden my mother with that because I knew my dad wouldn't, and I don't blame him. But mom, she's just the type of kind-hearted person. If it came down to it, she would have. But there's no way I'd ever burden my mother with that. So, anyways, I'm not even. I kind of got off a little bit of a tangent there, but not only am I not going to raise my own grandkids, I'm not going to raise any other woman's kids that aren't mine. There's just no way. I don't want the drama, and I don't have to. I'm in decent shape. I'm in really good shape for my age. And if it works out with crypto, then I'm going to have some money. Why in the world would I want to pick a single mother? I've already been through the ringer. I've done my time. I don't want to deal with it. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents on some of the problems I see. Men, if you're going to raise kids, raise your own kids. It's not your responsibility to be Captain Savaho. and bail some woman out who didn't take responsibility for her own actions. It's not your responsibility. And again, I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm not trying to be mean. And I understand accidents happen, and I understand how powerful hormones are. I believe me, I get it. But men aren't the ones that wind up pregnant. Women are. If I was my advice to women, be careful about who you hop in the sack with, because being a single mom, regardless of what Instagram tells you, is nothing to be proud of. And I'm not saying hold your head in shame. And I understand that life happens sometime, and maybe he held his mask up for a full 10 years. He was great, and all of a sudden he went and banged his secretary and left you. It sucks. I get it. I genuinely get it. And for that type of behavior, I hope people realize I am equally just as brutally hard on douche men that do that to good women, to good mothers. The mother of your own children, if she's been there, if she's stayed at home with your children, raised them, been there for you, and you just simply lost interest over something petty or whatever, and you leave her and you go bang the secretary and divorce, you're an asshole. And you deserve every bit of scorn that society can dish your way. So, anyways, I'm gonna. That was kind of my basic thoughts on that. I'm gonna get some of your comments. Golly, that freaking wind is coming right up my back. There. I'm gonna just start at the beginning. Panda and Twisty Biz and Liam and Dory and Mabry. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Georgia. Deb Grimes, did you see the kids on Father's Day? No, I didn't, but mine are all grown. They're 25, 23, 21, and 19, and I don't have to. It's okay. It doesn't bother me. I haven't seen my kids most Father's Day since I've been divorced because of, that's just how the crooked, and it hurt back then in the beginning, but I'm just used to it. I talk to them, so I'm good with it. Jazz B, how things been lately? I'm saving about $700 a week by not renting a hotel, and if my calculations are right, 750 a week. So I've been here a couple weeks, $1,500. That's not been pulled out of my crypto. Last cycle, I did about 27x. Let's just call it 30x. So 1,500 be 15,000. If I make 30x on the money I didn't pull out just by staying here, then that'll be about $45,000 that I'll get to pull out if I'm lucky enough to get a 30x on my money. So I'm doing great. Panda, kids do better with their father was the title of this. What if the father just disappeared and never came back? He's a douchebag. Um, it, he, I firmly believe that society should be very vocal and not. Uh, it's like giving a drunk a drink. Don't say, well, he's just living his best life like they do with women far too often. He's just doing what he's best. His pecker got away with him, and, it just happens. She'll be fine. No, you don't give him a pass. More people, I believe, if they were vocal about it, would shun asshole fathers like that leave a good mother high and dry when she did absolutely nothing to deserve it. Happy Ice Skate, what was your first car or truck? I had a 1982 CJ7 that my father bought from my uncle, his older brother, Dale, my favorite uncle. I got that in my sophomore year, which would be in 1992, and I love that thing. Liam, how did you become homeless, Caleb? Partially involuntarily and partially voluntarily. I'm not homeless like I just ran out of my last dollar, because I haven't. I've got about, it goes up and down. I invested my last 11 grand. It's been as high as 50 grand in the last 6 months. At the moment, it's really low because just the market. And I just I've learned this: never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, spend your last buck. I've done that before. I have been that broke. In fact, in 2015, I sold 3 Bitcoin for 750 bucks, 250 each. Today, Bitcoin's sitting, last time I checked, around $67,000. Just call it 70. Today, those 3 Bitcoin would have been worth about $210,000. So, um, yeah, I got screwed in the family court. My business that I had when I got divorced is long gone. I lost my house. I lost everything. But I didn't. It's not like I'm penniless. I get a little bit from YouTube, which isn't much. It's not what a lot of people think. It's certainly not enough to go live in get an average mortgage of 2,700 or whatever it is these days, plus utilities and property taxes and car payments and bills. It's nowhere near that much. It's about enough to feed me here lately. So I decided, in lieu of pulling out, even back just a few months ago when it hit 50 grand, instead of pulling it all out, because I knew the Bitcoin market, the bull run's not, it's just we're barely halfway into it. The next leg is like due any day now, any week now. So I'm voluntarily not in paying rent anywhere, and I'm out here on purpose saving the money. New Flyer XD. Do you like trains? I don't know why you asked me that so many times. I guess. So God made me a farmer. Are you in crypto or more like meme coins? Crypto. Well, I was curious what you're invested in. If you don't mind, I don't mind. I've got 80 shares of Vanguard S&P, and it has been quite the Cadillac. Was considering crypto and memes. I don't have any. I've bought stocks a little bit on like Cash App, but I watch crypto people who happen to cover stocks, so I understand it a little bit, but I don't understand it. I don't feel comfortable buying it. I totally get that, like if you'd have bought Nvidia back in 2018 and put $1,000 in, you'd be a multimillionaire today. I think that's amazing, and I'm happy about that because Nvidia is all AI, which, not that I am happy about AI, but whether you like it or not, AI is coming. It is the future, and so I've invested a lot. I'm heavily invested in AI coins, and I use crypto.com. It's not the biggest. To me, I like it better than Coinbase. I don't particularly like Coinbase, but I mean, it's not bad. They're big. They're more than likely far more. They are far more established than like FTX that went under in 2022 and ushered in the crypto winter. So I'm mostly into AI. That's where my biggest money is, like LimeWire and AI Oz and Render. Jab B, stop spamming. Yeah, thank you. Where are you, Danon? Jasby, yes, I think a lot of the problem is that too many people into, just I guess, jump into things rather than taking the time to truly test the compatibility between them and their partner. Absolutely, Jasby. I I've always suggested to my kids, um, when they get into a relationship, go slow and test them. And that may sound manipulative, and I really don't care if it is because I do this myself. Find out how they react to controversy, having an argument. If they scream and throw shit and break glasses and tear things up and holler and call your mom and get other people involved or go get drunk, if that's how they resolve conflict, dump them. No questions asked. Just dump them on the spot. You don't get a second chance because trust me, that's not the first time they've done that. If they get quiet, or if it's a woman, she gets quiet and cries and needs a moment to herself and then wants to talk it out, can't ask for anything better. Those are good qualities in a person that if they're willing to talk it out. Yeah, Rush, thanks. Happy I Skate. My mom was married for 30 years, but in many ways she was a single mother because my dad wasn't that good at raising us aside from taking care of us financially? Well, when you're little, it's not the father's job to. I mean, I changed loads, like hundreds, if not thousands, of diapers, but when they're little, children need their mother far more than they need their father. His job is to go out, kill shit, drag it home, make sure the family can eat. I do believe in gender roles, and I know that's not really popular. It's coming around. It's getting a little bit better, but it's not his job. And I say that knowing that when my children were small, I wanted more time with my kids, and I've got my complaints with my kid's mother, but I've always said this when it came to changing their diapers and making sure they are fed and bathed and groomed and clean and safe from any kind of harm from traffic or stuff left out of the house. I will say this about my children's mother, and I've said this before: no one was any better. She was the best. She was very, very good at that, especially when they were young. Because my job was to go. She stayed at home. I always went to work, and I couldn't always be there. Now I did a lot more than I ever got credit for. Again, changing diapers, staying up and burping and feeding, and I did loads and loads of that. So be careful. And again, I don't. Happy I Scat. I don't know your full all the details, but be careful being too hard on the dad that wasn't there. Perhaps I was a little too hard sometimes on my dad because he was never there, and when he was, he whipped my ass like a lot. I just wanted more time with him, but he did do very, very, very well on providing. We never went hungry, that's for dang sure. Nicholas Fabre says, hello, Jasby. Yeah, my parents are raising my nephews pretty much because my sister and her baby daddy are bad parents, to be honest. Yeah, you might as well be honest. No sense in sugarcoating anything. I don't sugarcoat hardly anything. I mean, I'll try to be polite, but if I'm pushed, yeah, if your sister's a shitty mom, then she needs to hear it, especially if she's making your own parents raise their own grandkids. If you're going to play Captain Savaho, make sure the host. I got to be careful with the. I'm trying to say it real fast. I don't want to get zapped again. Make sure the thing is worth saving first. Yeah. And, well, I better just keep that to myself. Basket City. Hello, Caleb. Happy Ice Skate. One time my brother and dad had a huge fight. My brother got my mom a Father's Day gift and said, your mom and dad to me. I'm not sure what you mean there. Panna, what would you do for your grandkids? Well, my goal is to not have them anytime soon, and hopefully any of my cheerins that make me a grandpa, they take their time and they're able to not put their kids, my grandkids, through the same BS. My goal is to have a little more of a net worth instead of a net debt, so that when they do come around, I get to play grandpa, and I get to really, really, really play real hard with them. I'm looking forward to it. I am patient. One thing about me that is, people have told me a lot, is that how patient I am, and I am a patient person. I'm looking forward to being a grandpa, but I'm patient enough to wait long enough until my cheer find the right person to make me a grandpa. Kai Storm 422 Giat, I'm not sure what that means. Liam, I invested 300,000 into crypto and made 900,000. Dang, well done. Al Blushi, hi. Where's your son? They're all grown. They're all pulling their own weight. They're all over the place. Two are in Texas and one's in Florida. Tyler Ghostmeyer, you're my favorite. I love your videos. Well, thank you, Tyler. Hannah, how would you feel today if you even once took the opportunity to sign your kids away to make the chaos go away? I couldn't live with myself. Thank you for asking that. Pana's been around for a long time, like since I was going live years ago. And I've talked about this. I had people, even my own parents, suggesting at one point, seriously, because it got so bad. She made our life such a living hell. She actually offered numerous times for me to just make this all go away. No more child support. You don't have to do anything, Caleb. Just sign your rights away and let Mighty May adopt them. There was no way in hell. She made my life a hell, but that it wasn't nearly bad enough for me to sign my kids' rights away. I just couldn't live with myself. I don't. I know there are some occasions, and I'm not going to beat up all dads. There are some occasions where there's some mothers that are way more brutal than even my kid's mother was in the divorce. And I see why they gave up. They may have just physically run out of strength after they ran out of money. And I don't fault those men at all. But for the douche canoes that just, willy nilly sign their rights over, don't give a crap, never saw them, take their money and run and go have millions and never even think about them. I'm just not made that way. I don't know how they do it. Happy Ascade, I have an uncle whose middle name is Dale. He's the most obnoxious pain in the ass you'd ever meet. Well, I love my Uncle Dale. Al Blue Sheet, guys, where is his kids? My kids are all grown. Yeah, they're all out of town, and I don't talk about them. Okay, yeah. The reason it's not to be a douche, a dick. The reason I don't do it is they have a private life, and I've already possibly done enough damage exposing what I did. I have to live with it, and I'm not even saying that I even regret it. I did my best, but now that they're grown, they have their own lives, and they don't even have social media. Ben, are you saying that any woman that met you during your professional drinking career should have just dumped you if they had common sense? Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying. They shouldn't have ever given me the time of day. Of course, half of them drinkers tend to uh, clot. They tend to gravitate towards each other. Most of the any girlfriend I ever had while I was a drinker, they're drinkers too. So if she was a sober person, if you're a man or woman and potentially found someone who's real nice, that's a real good thing. That's one of those things you need to find out. You need to spend some time with them, like a nice long weekend getaway, and see if they can go the whole weekend without drinking at all, because they may not be able to. And if they just can't go a couple days without a drink, that's a big red flag. Al Belushi, last week I talked with his son. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Happy Escape. My dad changed my sister's diaper one time and put it on wrong. My brother said my mother was like my dad and my mom at the same time. Charles Haynes, hello again. How are you doing? Doing well, Charles. Chilly. I kind of wish I had my other coat on. I'm 38 minutes in, so if I keep going too much longer, I'm going to have to because I'm cold. Happy Ice Skate. My dad signed his rights away for my older half brother, and he got adopted by another guy. They still spoke, but they never had much to do with each other. That's so sad. Vanna, have you considered that you may be less broke if you never spent money on alcohol? Well, of course. Not sure I've ever heard you acknowledge that. Yeah, there's an app you can get. I've never used it, but you can type in, I don't know how it works, but it's an app to help you quit drinking, calculate how much you're spending, and you type in how much you drink, how much you've drank in the past, then you type in your number of days quit, and then it just keeps a rolling tab of how many or how much money you've saved, how much money you blew, and how much money you've saved by not drinking. Yeah, I mean, I shudder. I used to know it. But I bought the cheap beer, and when I switched from beer to I figured out there's a lot more alcohol content for the buck if I switched to the clear stuff, the Everclear, or the vodka, or the gin. And I was buying those cheap handles, 1.75 liters for. Sometimes I get them for $9.99. And at the height of, towards the very end, one handle of clear gin for 10, $12. It lasts me about maybe 3 days. So, and then you got to buy the ice and the whatever you're going to cut it with. It just adds up. Caleb, now you are living alone? Yes, and I prefer it that way. I'm going to be alone for a long time. I've got some shit up here I gotta fix. Gibson's music and stuff, and also you have attracted the worst people ever on your comments. Each time I comment, someone always disagreeing with me. Yeah, for whatever reason, I've never realized how much I miss Dan and then when she's not here, because she tends to take care of a lot of that. Panna, still, I mean, buying it every 3 days adds up. Well, yeah. Again, if you're drinking every day, whether you buy it every day is irrelevant. If you're a drinker every day and you stock up, like I used to stock up, like when COVID's hit, I'd buy a case of it. I'd buy a 6-pack of the 1.75 liters, so it could last me, 3 to 6, 18, about 3 weeks. But I may not buy it every day, but I always had it stocked up. Dude, don't give up on everything will be good. Oh, I'm not. I'm good, man. Happy escape. My dad's ex-wife wanted him to pay child support, but at the same time was trying to take his visitation away, and that's why he signed away his rights. Yeah, unfortunately, far too many mothers use another child as an enhancement on their resume. It's what they do for a living. I mean, there's literally videos I've seen out there where these hooters, I'll just say it like the Scottish say it so that way I don't get zapped. The hooters will deliberately tell other women, go have this guy's baby and that guy's baby and that guy, and you got about 5 different baby daddies, then you get the percentage, a base percentage of 5 different ones, which for one, it's much higher than one baby daddy for 5. I mean, they're that demented. Not all mothers are mothers. Yeah, but at the same time, not all fathers are fathers either. Jerry, bam, I just cut my hand open. Damn, dude. Don't do that. All right, kiddies. We're a little. I'm cold, and there's not a whole lot of people here, and I've reached the end of the comments. I'm gonna have to go. Oh, before I go, I'm gonna do my little test. If you've got, and I'll make a dedicated video for this to post later. If you've got something you'd want, kind of like, remember, how Dave Ramsey has people call in, they have a discussion. Obviously, I don't have that set up here, but if you'd like to send an email, a little more detail, read something out or have me read it out and give me kind of an assessment more than just a little click here, a little, 2 sentences, whatever they. Oh no, there's a fire in Ruidoso. My mother's texting me. I'm gonna swipe up. Before I do it, I'll tell you when. I'm gonna swipe up. I'm gonna count to 10, and reopen like just a random page and just read something, and then I'll come back. Let me know in the comments if the video stays up and the audio still stays up. In a 3, 2, 1, Angel C, no way. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Okay, let me know. I just came back. I counted to 10. I reduced the video and I came back. Okay, Panna, it did freeze. Okay, when it froze, okay, it came back now, but did you hear me counting to 10? Did the audio stay? It froze, yeah, and went back. Yeah doesn't tell me anything. I need to know. Tracy Babes. No, no, no. No audio. Okay, so it just froze. Panda, I did not hear you count. Okay. Well, crud. I was trying to figure out a way because I don't even have a printer because there's nowhere to plug a frickin' printer in. I would print it out, just read it off old fashioned piece of paper, but I don't have it. So apparently there's I know what one button over here does. It swaps the camera around. I can do that. There's a mic button that mutes it. I accidentally muted the other day, but there's a 3-ring button that I don't know what it does, and then there's some other button at the bottom I don't know what it does. The audio was gone. Thank you, Karina Coyle. Thank you. Yeah. There's 2 other buttons. I'm not gonna bore y'all and waste your time. How is it I'm letting y'all go and all of a sudden I've got like twice as many people in here as normal? I just don't get it. I mean, I can hang out for a little bit. Might have to get my coat on, but Gloria Calderon, hi. ALDG, I don't know what that means. Charles Haynes, I'll see you later, man. It was good to see you. Thank you. Karina Coyle, oh my God, said my name correctly for once. I bet you get that a lot. It's I get called Caleb a lot. Man, I'm glad I had a dad that doesn't drink. Well, be glad, y'all. I'm gonna have to go because the wind's picking up. Look at this storm. That's the mountain, and there's a cold front coming in, and it just hit, and it's supposed to get down to right at freezing tonight. So I'm gonna have to bundle up. Tracy Babes, yes, I'm on basically a temporary / permanent camping trip until till the Bitcoin bull run comes in. Oh, y'all want to see my that's my chin up bar. There's my buck knife and there's my pickaxe. That way I stay in shape and don't turn into a fat, disgusting slob. No way I'm not sleeping in the car. I got my leggings. I went and got these are my ski pants. I'm insulated, Angel. There's no way I'm gonna go sleep in my car. That's what sissies do. You should buy a house and a trailer and travel. Oh, that's what I plan on it. I hadn't got there yet. There's Bitcoin. Ask Angel, she knows. Bitcoin has just been going sideways for 3 months. All right, kiddies, I'm freezing my cute little ass off. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Consider not hitting your cheerings. Bye.